Hey guys, Sneak 16 again. We are now, I believe, on lesson 5 of geometry. Last day, we had the pleasure of having Stevie Jinks in all the way from Melbourne, Australia. And today for lesson 5, I'm happy to say that we have another guest speaker. He's going to help me with today's lesson. We got in the house DJ Jazzy Jinks, straight out of Compton. If you're not sure, that's just on the outside of LA. Yo, DJ, how's everything going?
Yo, yo, yo! The DJ Jazzy Jinks here, in the house. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of my friends out there. Probably sitting at home right now, kicking back, playing some Y2K. Guppy, haven't seen you in a while. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Dawson. I heard he's probably making some new videos these days about finding some beans or something like that. I don't know what that's all about. We got homie G Kyle. And back east coming, got to give a shout out to my buddy over and back on the east coast of New York City. That's Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I heard you took a couple of hits this year in dodgeball.
Hey, thanks so much, DJ. I'm so glad that you're here. I'll catch up with you in a second here. We got first, I want to continue from last day. This is a horrible looking question which puts together a bunch of shapes that you are somewhat familiar with, and it's asking to find the perimeter of this shape.
Nukes, I'm going to tell you right away, that looks awful. And down in Compton, we'd probably just toss that in the trash and move on.
DJ, don't worry about this. We got this. We can do this. This is simple. It looks like we've got a right triangle, a rectangle, and a circle that kind of overlap, so we got half of the circle on the outside. I think everyone here is smart enough to figure this out. Let's start off with the obvious. We've got a side that is 25. DJ, do you agree that this side over here also has to be 25?
No, I don't see why. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I think you've got a square there, and that side's got to be equal. At least that's equal down in LA.
Yes, you're right, DJ. It's not really a square, it's a rectangle. But yes, these two sides must be equal. Therefore, I'm going to write 25 centimeters for that. Is there anything else that is obvious that we could figure out?
Yo, Nukes, I think if that's true, yep, this got to be 16 over here too. That makes sense because that's a square, and those guys' sides got to be equal. That's like the block down in Compton.
Hey, yeah, you're right, DJ. That's got to be 16. Well done. Those two sides have to be equal. It is, as you mentioned, a rectangle. And those two sides must be the same length. Coincidentally, that side length of 16 also looks like it is the diameter of the circle, so that is a huge hint. Wink, wink.
Hey, don't you be winking at me. No funny stuff here.
I wasn't winking at you, DJ. Don't worry about it. I would never do that. All right, so let's find, let's find this distance, which I will mark in blue. It's a right triangle, and we're looking for the middle side, not the smallest side. That would be 16, and the hypotenuse is 38. So let's see if we can find out the blue length of that, because we need to find that.
Yo, Nukes, I don't know how we're going to find that. That looks ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what, DJ, we're going to use the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we've got a is 16, b, we don't know what it is, and c is 38. And we're going to square that. So, we've got to square the 16. I forgot that one. So we take 16 times 16. Most of you probably already know what that is. That's 256. Plus b squared and a 38 squared. And probably most of you know what 38 squared is in your head because you memorized that way back in grade 5 or 6. That's 1444.
How do you guys know all these numbers? Holy cow, you're good.
Hey, DJ, we learned a lot of stuff in early elementary school up here in Canada.
Wow.
All right, so then we'll subtract 256 from both sides, minus 256. We've got b squared is 1444 minus 256, which is, why did I write that down again? I don't need to write that down, but I will anyway. 1188. Then I'll square root both sides, and that should give me what side B is. I'm hoping that it goes in nicely, but it doesn't. It works out to be square root of 1188 is 34 point, well, let's round it off to 34.5. It's actually 467,375. So I'm going to make it exactly 34.5, and that becomes this distance right here. Okay, all I need to do is now find the distance around the outside of this circle, and we'll have all of the distances around the outside, and then we'll just have to add them up.
Nukes, that sounds great. I don't know how we're going to find the distance around half a circle. That's ridiculous. Why can't you just make it square?
Well, that would be really weird, DJ, but let's see what we got. We already know, we learned last day, that if you take the circumference of a circle, you can find the circumference by taking the diameter and timesing it by pi. So C equals pi b.
Pie? That sounds ridiculous. The apple pie?
No. 3.14. Remember, that's a Greek symbol. 3.14 times the diameter. So that's going to be 3.14 times 16. And 3.14 times 16 with your calculator is 50.24.
Oh, you mean the distance around that half a circle is 50.24?
No, Jazzy Jinx. The distance around the entire circle is 50.24, but we don't need the inside part because it's on the inside of the shape. We only need the distance around half the circle, which would be this part here. So if we take the whole circle and divide it by 2, that should give us just that outside half of the circle. So I'm going to do that. It's 25.12. That would mean that over here is 25.12. Now to find the distance around this entire shape, I'm going to just add up all of the sides on the outside.
Nukes, holy cow, you're brilliant.
Hey, thanks, DJ. So I'm going to take 38. I'm going to add it to 34.5. Add it to 25. Add it to 25.12, which is the outside half of that circle. And add it to 25, which is the top side up here. And that should give me the grand total of every side. So let's do that. Use your calculator. And 38. And I get a grand total of 147. So I should actually say P equals 147.62. Providing that I typed everything into my calculator correctly, that would be the distance around this entire shape. That question is putting together everything we've learned up till now, all in one question.
Yo, that seems really difficult, Nukes. What's next?
Well, let's see what we got next. Today we're going to actually be talking about area. If you're not sure what area is, it's the distance or the space inside of a shape, of a two-dimensional shape. So here we've got a square or a rectangle, and it's basically how many little tiny squares would it take to fill up this shape. So how many could we fit in there? If you stack them all up, how many would it take to fill that shape? So it's pretty simple calculation to find the area of any rectangular shape.
Yeah. How difficult is it? That looks pretty difficult to me. Dawson? Yo. Homeboy.
All right, so here we have got a formula, pretty simple formula. We've got area is equal to length times width. Probably most people in grade 8 have seen this at some point. As long as you know the length and the width, you can multiply those two things together and get your area, which is the space inside. So 8 times 20, well, that's 160 centimeters. And because we're talking two-dimensional, a length and a width, and how many little squares can we fit in there? We're going to have squared centimeters. So that means we could fit 160 little squares that were 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter to fill up this shape. 160 little squared centimeters would fill up that shape.
Yo, Nukes. I think that's so easy, even I could do it. Why don't we try something a little bit more difficult?
Hey, Jazzy Jinx, let's try something else here. Okay, here's some sample questions for you guys. I know that you were dying to try some. Pretty simple. The first one has a length of 11 and a width of 5.
Yo, Nukes, I think that's 55.
Oh, DJ, look at you. You're quick. 11 times 5 is 55 centimeters square, or square centimeters.
Yo, Nukes, can I try the next one?
Yes. Just go whichever one you want.
All right, I'm going to try the easy one. They're both hard. Kyle, help me out here. I think I'll just do 20 times 3.
Yeah, let's do 20 times 3. That sounds good.
All right, 20, 60 centimeters squared.
DJ, you are a natural, buddy. You are on a roll. Time to go solo. Rolling on my 5.0 with the reg top down so my hair can't float. Fearley's on standby, waving just to say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove by. That's enough of my rapping for today. DJ, maybe you could kick off some sick raps later on, eh?
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
All right, so the next one, obviously, is going to be 25 times 20. We've got 500 squared centimeters. It's that easy. All right, let's move on to the next page here. What do we got?
Yo, homeschool. That's getting way too difficult. I quit. I'm out. Talk to you later.
All right, DJ, I'll take the rest from here. It looks like we've only got 1 or 2 pages left. So, hey, it's been nice talking to you. Everybody say goodbye to DJ. He's got to head back to Compton, and we'll continue on the rest without him.
Peace out, losers.
Hey, see you, DJ. All right, let's move on without DJ here. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me for the rest of this. I apologize. Looks like here we've got 3 rectangles all added together, and we want to add them all up basically and find the total area of this shape. Pretty basic, just rectangles. We're going to use the same formula, length times width, for each of these. And we'll just see is there any ones that we know? Is there any rectangles that have a length and a width given to us? No. No lengths and no widths. Is there anything that we can do? Yes, I think there is. if this entire distance across the top is 32 centimeters, and 14 of it goes from here to here because of this rectangle right here, this must be 14 if this is 14, because they must match, then I should be able to find this distance, which must be the 32, take away the 14 that we know because it's a match from this side over here. So 32, take away 14, should give us this distance, which is 18. Now to find this rectangle, which I will put in green. That's not very close to the line. Let's get rid of that. Try it again. That is going to be 20 times 18. And we all know that that's just 18 doubled, which is 36. And add the 0, that's 360 squared centimeters. All right, so we've got the first one done. We only got to do 2 more. Now, if you look at this question here, it's got this section, which looks like it's 10. And this little section, which looks like it's 2. Together, that makes a distance of 12. I'm going to put the 12 right down here, because it's got to be a mirror. It's got to be exactly the same. And if I do 18 by 12, that should give me the area inside this rectangle, which is, again, that's length times width. That's 18 times 12, which is 216. That's the calculation. That means that this is 216 inside centimeters squared. All right, so that leaves us with one rectangle left that we need to add together. And the problem with this is that we don't know this mystery side over here. We need to know that so we can multiply it by 14 and find the area of this rectangle. But we do know that this is 20 over here, because it says so right here. So this side has to be 20 all the way across. Now, some sneaky guy has given us 8 for this, and we know the whole thing is 20. So if I subtract the 8 from the 20, this section must be the remaining 12. Again, I took the 20, which is all the way across, subtracted the 8, and that left me with 12 as that amount. And that 12 has to be the exact same as that 12 over here. Again, that's this side here. And 14 times 12, do that on your calculator if you don't know what that is 168 squared centimeters. So the grand total is I'm going to add up the entire shape, which is all 3 sides, which is 360. That was the first square we did. 216, which was the bottom square, and 168, which is the last square we did. Add all those up, and you get 744 squared centimeters, or centimeters squared. That's your grand total for this shape. Yeah, it's quite a bit of work, but it's a simple formula, simple concept. It was too much for DJ Jazzy Jinx, and he had to hit the road. Now, I know what some of you are saying. I know James is probably saying, I'd like to do some more of these. Let's see how difficult we can make it. Aaron's probably saying, yes, I'd like to do a couple more. Well, here's another simple question. This one has got 2 new symbols on it. Whenever you see 2 little marks like this one and this one on a shape, that signals that those 2 lengths are the same length. They're equal lengths. So in fact, on this question, all 3 of these are going to be 6 centimeters. Because they've got that little mark on it. So that makes answering that first little section, if I wanted to find the area of this entire shape, it doesn't really say what to do here, it's just got a shape, so I'm going to say we're going to find the area of it. That's 6 by 6, which is 36. then we need to find the area of these other two sides. So luckily for us, if this is 6, and this distance is 6, this one also has to be 6 because it's a square. And that means that this entire distance over here is 12. Because it's 6 here and 6 there. And if I do 12 times this distance here, which is 48, I find the area of that shape. This is 12 times 48, 576. All right, we've got 2 of them done. We've got 1 left, and it looks like 28 is given to us as this distance right here. We already know that this distance is 12 because it says 12 over on this side. We figured it out. So this entire distance would be 28 and 12, which is 40. Again, 28 plus 12. Now we just need to find this distance across the very top, which would be this part right here. And we can do that by taking this 62, which is the length all the way across. So from here all the way to here is 62. And we know that 48 of it is used up right here. So this section here is 48. So I'll take 62 and subtract 48, and that should leave us with this section right here. That looks kind of confusing, but it's really not. That means that this section has to be 14. So 14 by 40, if I multiply those, that should give me the area of the final rectangle, which is 560. Now to find the total area, just add up all your shapes. 560 plus 576 plus 36. And you'll have a grand total of 1172 centimeters squared. Don't forget to have squared units. And that pretty much is it. I'll post a sheet for you to try. Wanted to say thanks to my guest today, DJ Jazzy Jinx. And we'll take it up with the next lesson coming up shortly.